Time now for the Trapasso Report, hosted by Chris Trapasso.
Greetings and welcome to the second episode of the Trapasso Report. I'm your host, Chris Trapasso. We have an interesting show tonight, talking with new Jaguars defensive tackle Brandon Deaderick and third-year Chiefs defensive lineman Alan Bailey. Before we get to our first interview, let's discuss some news that came out of Bills camp today, actually. Rookie quarterback E.J. Manuel, in an interview with SB Nation, told everyone that the Bills offense is actually more simple than the Florida State offense. And, once this video went kind of viral in the NFL Twitter community, there was plenty of debate deciding whether or not this was really a good thing or a bad thing. For me, we really don't know what it means by simpler. It could be the terminology could be a little easier to understand. It could be the progressions aren't as complex. But really, until Manuel steps on the field in the regular season, and we don't know if that's going to be week 1, week 4, week 8, or even next season. Personally, I think he's going to be the starter week 1. So I think we're going to learn that right away. But until that happens, we're not going to really know what he meant by simpler. And really on Twitter over the last 2 or 3 months, pre-draft, during the draft, and after the draft, there's been a wide range of opinion on the complexity or even the lack of complexity of the Florida State offense the last 4 years under, I think 3 years under Jimbo Fisher. So it's really hard to gauge what Manuel is comparing the Bills offense to. So my take on it is I think the Bills will be much smarter to start with a more simple, run-oriented offense. Give Spiller the ball, give Fred Jackson the ball to aid Manuel's development, as a rookie into his second year, than it would for them to, overcomplicate things right from the start, confuse him, put the whole offense on him. So we're not really sure what Manuel's comment actually means, because it was such a broad comment by just saying more simple. But I think it makes a lot more sense to ease him into a prominent role under center than it would be to, make him Peyton Manning from day one. And there's not really much else going on right now. This is the time, the 5 to 6 week period after mini camps, but before training camps, where, the players take a little vacation, they spend time with their family, and this is, officially the time when teams cross their fingers that their guys don't get into trouble. Hopefully that doesn't happen around the league. We don't like to see guys get arrested that have a lot of potential. So hopefully that doesn't happen. All right, so when we get back from the break, we'll be talking to Jaguars defensive lineman Brandon Deaderick here on the Trapasso Report.
Are you looking for an NFL website that doesn't throw rumors against the wall and hope they stick? Then please go to ProFootballCentral.com for up-to-date news and information. ProFootballCentral.com is back and better than ever. We're dedicated to being your number one NFL fan site, so come check us out at ProFootballCentral.com and experience the difference.
All right, now we have Brandon Deaderick on the phone, a defensive tackle for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Brandon, how's it going this evening?
It's going great. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. Let's just get it right started. How's your offseason been since you were picked up by the Jaguars? How's your workouts, your training, getting ready for the 2013 season?
It's been going really well. I adjusted, fairly quickly to Jacksonville. The whole organization, it's a classy organization. Coach Gus, he's a real player's coach. He has a real good vision for the team, and, it feels like everybody's bought into it. So, I'm just down there, just working on getting better and just having fun, It's an aggressive style of defense, getting after it, flying around. So I feel really good about this season.
All right, so you're talking about Gus Bradley. You're new there in Jacksonville. He's new there in Jacksonville. Give me your first impressions of him as a coach that maybe you saw in OTAs and in mini camps, and then maybe give a little bit of how he's different than your old coach, Bill Belichick, who are both defensive-minded guys.
Yeah, we know. First thing that comes to mind, when I get down there, just Coach Gus and everybody in the whole organization, is excitement. They're excited about this new brand of football in Jacksonville. And there's a buzz in Jacksonville about it too. So he's a very high energy guy. We try to make practice fun, meetings fun, but we're still getting our work in. You know what I mean? And we're a real hard working group. That's the other thing about it. Hard work and excitement, lots of energy. The whole facility is a high energy, high pace, type of place right now. So the players are feeding off of it, the coaches are feeding off of it, the city's feeding off of it. So, it's looking pretty good right now.
All right, so you started with the Patriots, your NFL career there, where you played with Tom Brady, who's, arguably one of the best quarterbacks of all time. And now there's not as good of a quarterback situation, with all due respect to all those guys down there in Jacksonville, Blaine Gabbert, Chad Henne, a couple other rookies. What are your vibes so far on Blaine Gabbert? Did you see him, maybe taking that next step and maturing a little bit in the last 2 or 3 months that you've been with the team?
Well, honestly, ever since I got down there, I've been, worried about getting the playbook and the defense and everything, and just buying into, the program, they have down there right now. So I really haven't had the time, to really focus on Blaine. But from what I've seen, he looks good out there. It seems wide open to me, but it's not really my thing to analyze my teammates or whatever. All I know is Wild out there working hard, out there, trying to contribute to the team as best we can.
Okay, Kyle Love is another former Patriots guy who's now with you in Jacksonville. How important do you think his presence next to you on that defensive line will be, just playing with a former teammate?
Well, it always makes it, a familiar face makes a new transition easy, always. So, me and him, of course, we're going to know each other better, if we're in there at the same time, or just our games overall, like what the other one likes to do, strengths and weaknesses. So, of course, we're more accustomed to that. But, the more important thing is, it's only 2 of us. There's 16 other guys, they're in the OTAs that we have to get to know too. You know what I mean? And how they play, how they feed off of us, and how we feed off of them. So, we just came in, try to get, a Jaguar program. We're not with the Patriots anymore. I know me personally, in my mindset, I'm not with the Patriots anymore. I'm a Jaguar, so I got to be playing Jaguar ball. And, if this guy likes to do this a certain way, hey, I got to be aware of that. So, the guys down here, we got a good D-line group, young guys, a couple of vets, with a lot of wisdom in there too. Got a lot of good leadership there, and kind of middle of the road guys, like fourth, fifth year guys like me, Alou, Anthony Smith, Love, guys like that. So we got a pretty good blend there, So we all, seem to gel pretty well together and work well off of each other. That's important.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Now, kind of like you said, there's been a lot of buzz about Gus Bradley and, all of his success that he had with the Seahawks over the last few years. He brings a real attacking, aggressive, kind of almost futuristic defensive scheme to the Jags. Do you think he'll be locked in to one of those defensive tackle spots, or do you think there's a chance you might get kicked out to the outside and play a little defensive end on occasion?
Well, I think I'm going to play whatever they want me to play. So, I'm just learning, a lot of different things right now, getting a lot of new technique things down, and learning several positions. So, wherever, I can, fit in, that's what I'm going to get in. So,
All right, lastly, just to sum this up for you, what would you say is your greatest strength as a player? Would you say it's rushing the passer, eating up blockers, stuffing the run, your high motor? Like, what do you really take pride in the most as a player?
Things I really take pride in the most as a player is getting to the ball, being physical, playing, with, aggressive, angry, just getting to the ball any means necessary, being a team player. Whether that's rushing the passer, or that's running down the screen, or that's stuffing around or taking up blockers, whatever it takes, for me to do for the team. That's my greatest asset.
All right, Brandon, thanks a lot. Best of luck this season. I know you're with a new team. There's a lot of excitement down there in Jacksonville, so best of luck this season.
All right, thanks.
All right, next we have Alan Bailey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And before we get to this interview, I'd like to say thank you to Grand Sporting PR for setting this all up. Alan, how's it going tonight?
Going pretty good tonight so far.
That's good. Let's just start off with the obvious question, what everybody wants to know in Chiefs Nation. All the AFC offensive linemen probably want to know the same. How's your ankle?
They're all good, man. Back healthy. I mean, I had a pretty good off season so far, so I mean, I'm looking to roll into training camp healthy, ready to go.
Do you think by training camp you'll be close to 100%, or are you already there, or when is your real timetable that you're going to be back firing on all cylinders?
It's no timetable. I'm pretty much already there.
Good. All right. Well, this year with the Chiefs, you have a new head coach, a pretty big name, Andy Reid. Give me your first impressions of him.
A very high intense guy. Very organized. Keep things short and sweet to the point.
Is that something that you like, or would you rather have a more laid-back coach?
I mean, I like that. I mean, I'm used to having some of both. So, I mean, a straight to the point coach is a good thing.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, there's a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball on your team, I think. I mean, when you look from yourself to Tamba Hali, Justin Houston, Deaderick Johnson, you guys brought in some pretty big free agents too. Do you think that more offensive consistency will help the defense to play better 2013 than they did last year?
I mean, we have a new coaching staff, offense and defense. I mean, we're looking to go in and learn both sides of the ball and just apply both sides, make plays and win games.
All right. You've been through OTAs now and one mini camp. Have there been any players that have really stood out to you in a positive way, whether it's a rookie or any of the new free agents, or on offense or defense? Just any guys that have really stood out to you in those practices?
These practices, Eric Berry, just becoming more and more of a leader that he already is. A bunch of our Pro Bowl players, just playing their role and being leaders that they are.
All right. What realistic goals have you set for yourself as an individual? I mean, I'm sure probably one of them is to, play a whole 16-game season and avoid injury.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of that, in terms of maybe, have you set any tackle goals, sack goals, snaps? Is there any really goals that you've set outside of not getting injured for yourself this season?
Well, of course, first staying healthy, and this try to get a 10+ sack season. This to go roll into my third year with a new defense that is more of an attack defense, but allows us to make a lot more plays. So I'm setting myself with a 10+ sack season.
Oh, wow, that's good. Yeah, playing with guys like Justin Houston and Tamba Hali, do you learn a lot from those guys? I mean, I know Justin is actually, I think, was picked a year after you, but these guys have produced.
No, we came in the same year. Yeah.
Okay.
Me and Justin came in the same year. Yeah.
So I mean, just because he's stayed healthy and he produced last year, he made the Pro Bowl. Tamba Hali's been established for many years now. What do you learn from them, or do you really learn anything at all? Just pass rushing technique, training in the off season. Do you really find yourself learning from those players?
I mean, it's more of learning pass rush technique and the things that they use than that works for them, and like what doesn't work for them as well when it comes to pass rush. Okay.
Kansas City is really known for its barbecue. what is your favorite barbecue place in the city, or maybe what's the most underrated barbecue restaurant?
I can't really tell you. I've been to Gates one time. I've been to Smokehouse a few times. I don't know. I really don't have a favorite.
So pretty much all of them. I mean, I'm sure they're all very good.
Yeah.
All right, Alan. Well, thank you for coming on. Best of luck this season. I think, your defensive line with the new scheme, you guys could have a really big year.
You should. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That was Alan Bailey, defensive lineman of the Kansas City Chiefs, heading into his third year. Could be a big year for that team with Andy Reid and Al Smith at the helm. That will do it for this week's Trapasso Report. Make sure to follow Grand Sporting PR on Twitter at Grand Sporting. Deaderick's Twitter is at bdeaderick71, and you can find Alan Bailey on Twitter at Alan Bailey. For Chris Trapasso, this was the Trapasso Report.
This has been a presentation of the Pro Football Central Network. For news, blogs, highlights, and more, log on to ProFootballCentral.com.